so when that Wednesday hit, April met me at the hospital. She talked to my doctor. She basically gave her the rundown and everything. And of course, you know April. The first thing she said was, "Well, let's go to your apartment. We're gonna pack some of your clothes, and you come into the house with me." And so from that Wednesday, which was the Wednesday after I got my diagnosis, or basically got the information on that Friday,
Right.
that Wednesday to now, I've never been alone.
Wow. And again, that's the importance of having that support system in place during the highs and lows, and throughout life. And as I have the title of this episode is Finessing Through Life. The ups, the downs, the triumphs, the trials, and you at this point now to where you've gotten to this level of acceptance. You got the diagnosis. You're attacking the treatment process. You have your support system. You got your foundation, whether it's people, whether that's belief, whether that's faith, whether that's all those things combined to kind of help you through that process. So talk about kind of like the aftermath of that. I want to talk about what kind of helped you get through that, and currently like where you at right now, from a health standpoint.
Well, I to be falling at that, for me to be falling at that point, and to fall into the arms of my mom, my brother, my sister, and the rest of my family. Obviously, you, Candace, Stephanie, Mark, Dwayne, and just those different family members, man, that was there for me. It was a major that was huge for me, because I was like, it's like just as much as the physical, the mental can take you up out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The emotional can take you up out of here. And so no sooner than I would get down, I would get encouragement, like God is able, and so to come from the spiritual background that we come from, to come from that thorough foundation that we come from, these are the things that got me through. These are the things that got me back on my feet. When I was going through some of the roughest times, because my body was in a lot of pain, because of where the cancer had spread. My body was in a lot of pain, and my energy was extremely low. So in the midst of all of this, prior to obviously getting my diagnosis, back in that February, that March, I decided to take the stage play, What God Allows, to Orangeburg. And so What God Allows for me was a powerful stage play.
Right.
In 2018.
Right.
In 2019, it became part of my testimony.
Absolutely.
And so this character that God allowed Satan to test, it's almost like I closed my eyes and opened my eyes, and it was me.
Right.
Character. All of a sudden, I'm that person that Satan is testing.
Right.
In 2018, I played the character. In 2019, I became that person.
Right.
that God allowed Satan to test. And so, one of the biggest things that I learned, during this process, um, was that nobody can do anything without God allowing it. God has
Right.
to allow it to
Right.
happen. He has to allow things to happen. Satan can't do anything without God's permission.
Mhm.
And so I am still learning, you know, what the purpose of all of this is. I'm still in that learning process of
Right.
moving, and understanding and comprehending what all of this means.
Hmm.
Um, but to come from that low point of being in a lot of pain, my PSA level being extremely high, having no energy, to having no pain at all,
Right.
PSA level being normal. As a matter of fact, I got news today that my PSA level is the lowest that it's ever been.
Wow.
It went down even more, and it was already in a normal range. You know,
Wow.
and so when I tell you, as if I wasn't already blessed, God is still, blessing me. He still has His hands upon me.
Right.
And those teachings, um, all of this comes from, our church foundation. This is what Uncle David preached to us, year in, year out.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm extremely proud and extremely grateful for, my church foundation with Beulah Refuge Tabernacle and Pilgrim Glorious,
Right.
um, and Mount Betty, Mount Glow, and, obviously, all of my aunts and uncles and cousins, up in New York, Kimmy and everybody, man.
Right.
It's like to we were kept in church all the time, you
All
know,
the time.
all the time. Dude, I can listen. If I can't even count the times I fell asleep on Friday night revival. I can't even count the times I fell asleep on Sunday morning. But as we grew, as we matured out of those adolescent and immature states, we I began to really realize the purpose of it all. And it seemed like everything, you know, just seemed to come together um, as this thing unfolded with my health. And so, had it not been for my family, close friends, and our God, you know, I know I wouldn't be here. You know,
No.
my
That's
life,
a
my
powerful
life,
statement.
my
And
life, my life was spared.
and what I want to translate, definitely beyond this story, is to stress the importance for not only men but just Black men in general, the significance and the importance of our health. We're one of the most uh, we're that population that is not the healthiest. We have the shortest lifespans, and we are more at risk. Just from a genetic standpoint, from a historical standpoint, we're at more risk. We could be the healthiest, because we tend to be the strongest as far as genetic makeup, but we don't take care of ourselves.
Right.
And all of those things are connected. Your mental, physical, spiritual, all of those things are connected. And when one is out of whack, it
Mhm.
throws everything else out of whack. So I wanted to definitely utilize this platform, utilize your testimony to encourage us, because I'm a black man as well, to make sure we get the necessary checkups, make sure we understand the warning signs, understand, hereditary, because it is somewhat genetic. Like you said, you got it from your dad, like you were already predisposed to certain things. And
I didn't
it's
realize
important
how
to
many of my
understand that
dad's
dynamic
brothers,
as well.
man. You know, I didn't realize how many of my dad's brothers had gone through, prostate.
Right,
Yeah, and
right.
it was mind blowing, to me. And so it's like, for me, I was like, okay, at 45, most people saying 45, 44, 45, go get that test.
I'm
And,
saying 40.
huh?
The doctors that I've spoken with recommend 40, especially if you're at risk, if you have a family history of cancer,
Hmm.
high blood pressure, heart disease, things like that, diabetes within the family. These tests need to be for us a little bit sooner, because our lifespan is shorter. So
Right,
we can't base it on the general population when our lifespan is shorter, or we're more at risk,
right.
to have health issues. So
Yes.
so it's definitely one of those things to where, the hustle and bustle, we're always grinding, but it is just as important, to get your physical health tested, your mental health checked in, get all these checkups,
Yeah.
so we can be
Yeah.
around for that family,
Man.
that we're so hard out here working for. We got to be around to do that and to enjoy the fruits of our labor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's so easy to say if I had to do it all over again, but so for me, just recognizing, the reality of where things, are basically at right now.
Right,
Um, you know, I'm big on, what can you do now?
right,
What now? What do you do now? And so, um, while I haven't reached that ultimate place, the diet has drastically changed, man. So not only, is my PSA levels and everything normal, but the necessary precautions that I've taken now, or the necessary steps that I've taken, and been taking, currently,
right.
blood pressure is basically 100% normal,
Wow,
you know.
wow.
My blood.
It's definitely important, not only with those checkups and doing those necessary things, but checking our diet, checking what we're, taking in physically as well as mentally, because stress kills us just as fast as
Man,
any fried chicken or pork could do any day. The stress, the mental anguish that black men, especially nowadays, dealing with,
mm-hmm.
the shootings and, being on edge, this whole coronavirus thing, all of these things impact our mental health, our stress levels, our worry, all those things. And that stress leads to high blood pressure, which could lead to a host of other things.
Man, I
So
tell you, I as I was going through everything, I first of all, I've always been pretty cool, and calm, collected, throughout my life. I
mhm,
went through some things that I never thought I would experience in reference to anxiety, you
yeah,
know, and so I had some levels of anxiety that I didn't realize was anxiety. You
yeah,
know,
we call it stress. We call
I
it
um
stress.
I went to the
That's what
hospital.
men call it. We just say we stressed out, but
Yeah,
behind closed doors, our heart is racing. We start shaking, we start sweating, all of these things. Can't
I,
sleep.
I I went to Orangeburg Regional 3 4 times because I felt my heart just racing
Yeah,
because with everything going on, man. And this is you talking. Um, I went to Grady. I mean, excuse me. I went to Orangeburg Regional. My plate. I was diagnosed end of July. My
Hmm.
play was 2 weeks. My play was 3 weeks after my diagnosis.
Right.
My stage play was 3 weeks after my diagnosis in Orangeburg. I went to the hospital twice within those 2 weeks because my heart is racing. It's like I'm trying to put everything into perspective.
Right.
I tell you,
Right.
I went through it. I went through it. I had
Wow.
sleepless nights,
Yeah.
and
All of those things are connected. All of them are connected. From the thought process, thinking the worst, worrying about, future, what is this going to look like, to the point to where you're not eating, you're not sleeping, and that throws everything off. 'Cause I know when I don't get sleep, I'm already an irritable person. You don't want to be around me if I'm not getting no sleep. So to add that into the mix, along with health issues, it's a recipe for a continuum of symptoms. If you don't eat, you don't sleep, you already got pre-existing conditions. It's just going to keep happening over and over and over.
right.
So again, just stressing the importance of maintaining not only your physical health but your mental health as well. It is very important. And I wanted to kind of, I guess, maybe close this off a little bit. I definitely want, and we definitely want to continue this conversation, family, for sure. But I definitely wanted you to let the people know where they can reach you, because you back out there doing your thing. You may not be going as hard as you used to when you were 25, 30, but
Right.
you definitely still out there, back out there in the streets of Atlanta, blessing the people with your voice, being that witness, and still serving your purpose. So I definitely commend you on that. I definitely want you to definitely let everybody know where they can reach you at: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those things. Where can they find you at?
Well, basically, man, you can find me on your basic social media outlets. Facebook, my full name, Travis Wright. You can find me on Instagram at Trav Wright Soul. You can find me on
Yeah,
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Trav Soul Right. And basically any one of those, man, you can catch me. I'm easy to find.
y'all
So
gotta
easy to
Google him. Make sure you Google him. You're gonna see a whole list of stuff. You Google Trav Wright, Travis Wright, so any of that,
yeah.
you,
We
you
have we
got the
have a, we have
catalog.
a number of projects, man, that we are working on now. I we just did the Wake Up Everybody quarantine video with my
Awesome.
girl, Butter,
Yeah. I
and
gotta go back and check it. I saw
yeah,
the post for it.
yeah. So it's officially out now. We just did
Okay.
that, and that's just for everybody, to uplift your spirits while we going
Yeah.
through, waiting out this COVID-19 thing, man. It's been
Yeah,
rough.
man.
We didn't see this one coming, and so we just
Absolutely not.
praying for all the families out there,
Right.
that we get through it, and we're praying for the families to get through, their grief in reference to the loss of their loved ones.
Right.
Just,
Right.
we're just praying that God keep us right now, man.
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely. And we'll get through it, because we are resilient
me,
people.
man, I probably since last October, I I got I got back into my songwriting. I dove deep into my songwriting once I started kind of coming out of this thing a little bit and feeling a little better, feeling a little more like myself, you
Right.
know, getting a little more energetic. I started back writing, on a regular, and so now I'm writing like crazy, working on the new project, the new Trav Wright project, working on songs for other artists as well, and just um, um, trying to get back in shape more than anything. Between
Hey,
yeah,
this quarantine don't help it. at all.
Bro, what you talking
It
about?
doesn't help it at all.
Look,
It
man,
doesn't
look,
help it.
look, look. Hey, I'm. If I can drop just maybe 10 more pounds, man, and work out just a little bit more, I need to slim down like you, cuz. There, man. And so, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting back out and performing, doing some more performances and what have you. But I'm really looking to right now do a lot more writing and
Okay.
back into that. When I was on my road, I didn't really realize how long I was gone, years and years
Right.
and years of trying to book up my calendar,
Right.
focusing on those things, and at times it would take away from my my creative flow, that
Right.
creative flow that I had with my original music,
Yeah.
you know. And so now that I'm getting back into that, it feels really good, man, really good. So there's new music coming, with Trav Wright. Um, more stage play work, and more music, more of a lot of things to come. Definitely.
Definitely more of you. I mean, that's all. That's all the people want. More of you. So, definitely making sure that we stay above water, above the ground. You know what I mean? Like taking care of ourselves, and that goes for everybody. And listening to this and watching this, making sure we taking care of ourselves and
Mm,
each other is most important, especially around these times, because we never know, what could happen, whether it's corona or if it's cancer or whatever the case may be.
yes, yeah. It's
So
just
that we're
so many things out.
touching and talking and reaching out to people and showing love, that's what's most important at this point.
Absolute, absolute, absolute.
Well, definitely, Trav. Like I appreciate it, fam. Like I appreciate this wholeheartedly. This was definitely a story that the masses need to hear about resiliency, bounce back, coming back, being knocked down, but not staying down. This was a true testimony of faith, you know, love, support system, all of those things combined in one. So I definitely appreciate your story, and I'm sure the family appreciates it as well.
Man, and I want to say, man, and I'm so proud of you, man. Like I can remember the day your mama brought you home from the hospital, man.
Wow.
From and
40 years later.
man, rest in peace, Aunt Vern. Rest in peace, Uncle.
Yes, R.I.P. Mom, love
Rest
you.
in peace, my dad. Leon.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, listen, I remember going to the bowling alley with your mom and all of them,
Yeah,
man.
man.
And
That's why people. I got those skills from my parents. Both of them were
they better
bowlers, and
recognize, man.
my mom was actually a better bowler than my dad. He would never admit to it back in the day. But
What?
my mom was. She bowled several
Your mom was
300s.
your mom was a beast on the
Yeah,
bowling.
man. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
And
But all
so,
right, man. I ain't gonna hold you. We got it locked down. We got it in season 6, the Couch 704, where your mental health matters. It's your host, Dame. I got my fam, my cousin, my brother Trav Wright in the building, representing Orangeburg, South Carolina to the fullest. Finesse, we coming at y'all. We doing it different this season. It's gonna be awesome, and this is just one of them. So definitely shout out to everybody out there, Orangeburg, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte. We here in the building, 704. Definitely. We out of here. All right, you guys. Appreciate it again, Cuzzo.
appreciate you,
Love you,
cuz.
bro. Keep it
Couch
going.
family, one love.
Keep
We'll
dropping
see
that
you
heat on
soon.
them, and keep doing your thing.
Absolute.
All right, peace. Love you guys.
Trying to get over. have to take. Too many people up in my bed.
Yeah. Come on. My people in the 8, yeah, you gotta wake up. The people in my city, come on, let's wake up. Send my people around the world, yeah, we gotta wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. We gotta wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Let's go.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more doctors thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Yeah. Wake up all the teachers and teach a new way. Maybe they will listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who tell me, hey, the world is in their hands. The way you teach our children, teach them the very best you can. Now I've been trying to keep my cool and not display the over radical. The cut the stack, I woke up that sabbatical. But you need another Moses, a band of roses. We all been talking about the same thing, we know the motives. I won't expose this again, so you know this. This ain't no hocus pocus, and again, well, you know it is. So keep your focus and your eyes wide open. Your third one, two, check, check, 1, 2.
Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer, catch all the hell. But they don't have so very for the judgment day. Won't you make them happy before they pass away?
Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it long as we lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our mind. Surely things will work out, they do it every time.
Yo, get up, start your day off like a winner. Everyone's successful starts off a beginner. If you wanna make it happen, your passion has got to lift up. Don't give up, always look for the bigger picture. Yeah. You got this, the only one stopping you is your conscience. Add action, subtraction is not an option. I know it ain't easy, believe me, it's all in God's hands. He'll take care of us, there is a miracle arising.
The world won't get much better if we just let it be, let it be. The world won't get much better. We gotta change it, yeah. The world won't get better if we just let it be. The world won't get much
It all starts with the one in the mirror. Can't get no clearer, so you can't let it straight. So you gotta be prepared at all times. Think with reason. You can't be logical for a season. Anything you put your mind to, be short and calm. Stand straight, tight with the belt. Sun is beat proper, let the devil know. We won't win through God's favor. We gotta shift straight the paradigm and we can make it here.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from how it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty.
Yeah, okay, my people couldn't say it any clearer. No time for those excuses, we should all stand in the mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? When minorities and not being treated fairly at all. I'm appalled when I call my fellow brother and ask him how he been. He said his son was pulled over by the popo again. I pray these things will end, the discrimination. We shouldn't be profiled because of the color of our skin.
All I really wanna know is can we all get along? If you wanna feel the love, you gotta wake up.
Wake up, everybody, don't sleep in. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping. 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 I learned that you keep it moving.